Hello, how are you doing? This is Nina, and I thank you for watching my video. I'm going to quickly say that I appreciate your enthusiasm, your comments, and your friendship invites and everything like that. This is Saturday morning. It's September 27th, I think, and I would like to talk to you today about a parenting kind of thing. Well, a couple of days ago, a little bit more than a couple of days ago now, a child, a fifth grader, not in my school, not in our school, but another school, was struck and hit by a car, and he passed away the day after that, after being taken off life support. He had no brain, his brain was dead, basically. And he was hit, he was in an alley, as I understand it, on his bicycle. I don't know if he was going to school or coming from school, but, the lady that hit him was, she was devastated by the fact that she didn't see him, and she said he came out of nowhere and all this, And I wouldn't want to be her. I mean, of course, I wouldn't want to be the parents of a child that's been in an accident, obviously, but I sure wouldn't want to be her either, because even whether she was paying attention or not, it's just to live the rest of your life knowing that you were the cause of someone's death, whether by accident or on purpose, with your vehicle. It's got to be something that I would not want to even come close to imagining. But what I want to talk to you today about is about that kind of thing. Our children are continually wanting more independence, and they play outside and all this. We let them go to activities at friends' houses. And I know all of you parents, some of you are very, very attentive, and some of you are very, very attentive. So I'm not putting anyone to judge in judgment seat on your parenting skills. But I ask all of you mothers, fathers, grandfathers, grandmothers, guardians, babysitters, nannies, and everybody, please watch your children. Please teach your children safety techniques, and that goes even to the step of even looking out for people who should be looking out for things, but maybe not looking out. For instance, be extra cautious in the mornings when you're heading to school and your children are walking. Look both ways and look again. Go slowly, when you're going across the street. Not so slowly that you're, daring traffic to hit you. But don't run, because sometimes as you run across the street, people may not see you, and it happens so fast and they hit you. Take your time. And for those people driving, please obey the school zones. Yeah, you'll get big nasty tickets that are $400, $500, $600 and even more. So what? You pay them and you go on and you don't like it and everything, but you're still alive. Hopefully it's a lesson learned. Not being mean or anything about it, but the reason why the school zones are there in 20 miles an hour is because it's so that you can, if in the event that a child darts out in front of you, you have a better chance of stopping than if you're at 40 or 45 miles an hour. But nevertheless, being hit by a car is bad, no matter how hard you're hit or how light you're hit. Being hit is a bad thing. When you're going down an alley, if I understand it correctly, most alleys are 15 miles or less. And a lot of alleys have nooks and crannies and corners and curves and blind spots. So people, tell your children, don't come out from behind a fence without looking to see if the car's coming. People who are driving, please assume that there is somebody else out there in the world besides yourself, and when you go down an alley, go slowly. I mean, if you're late to work, you're going to be late anyway. If you've got a deadline to meet, is that deadline more important to get to by speeding and breaking rules and running red lights and just taking a few extra minutes to look out for a child or a family or, someone? Let me tell you something. 2 years ago, I was walking in a crosswalk. I had the green hand, go. I had it had a timer. It said 15 seconds, 14 seconds, it goes down and down, I was where I was supposed to be. I was doing everything I was supposed to do. And there was a woman who, well after the light had turned red for her, which was meaning it was time for me to go. And I didn't just step out in the street. I mean, I waited several seconds before stepping out in the street. I saw no one. She came out of nowhere, straight ahead, not from a turn or anything, and she just came this close to hitting me. And I had my stroller because at that time, it was probably more than 2 years, it was probably 3 years ago. Michaela was in elementary school, and Millicent was in the stroller. She was, a preschooler, but was not in school yet. And so I had this stroller. I had my other child by the hand, and I'm pushing the stroller. It was broad daylight. It was not, you know, a dark morning or a rainy morning. I'm wearing white, and I think I was wearing gray pants. I could be seen. And I'm not a small little tiny shrimp, you know, walking across the street, blending in with the road. And this woman came close to hitting me. And when she passed me, after I felt the heat of her car, I kid you not, she hit the brakes, because I think it just dawned on her that she almost hit me and 2 children, one in the stroller. And then after she hit the brakes, and by this time I'm already across the crosswalk, and I'm looking around like I can't believe this just happened, she hits the brake and she pulls over to the right, the far right lane, and then she stops, and then all of a sudden she just takes off. And I think what it was is she was in shock, because she just realized she almost hit somebody and was probably wondering if she had indeed hit me or not, because she just swerved barely to avoid me. And I was everywhere. I was where I was supposed to be. And, you know, accidents happen. But we need to be more careful. And I know they're passing a lot of laws around the nation for people to avoid using their cell phones. If they're going to use it, use their headset or whatever, or, you know, when they're going through like a school zone or whatever. Excuse me. But I ask that you do a little bit more than that. Please pay attention to the road. There are people's children out there walking to school. There are people that are crossing the street to catch the bus. And some people are jaywalking, and they're not supposed to. But nevertheless, there's no comparison between the tons of your car, the weight of your car, to a human being. And a life is irreplaceable. A car is replaceable. Jobs, unfortunately, come and go every day. But people, when a person's gone, they don't come back. And if they're injured, if they survive an accident, they're probably going to be injured, you know, or disabled for life if they get hit a certain way. Head injuries, those kind of traumas are usually what happens from accidents of such. And I just ask that all of you take a little extra time out for someone besides yourself. Think about someone else. Think about someone's child. Think about that being your child who's walking to school in the morning. If you have to hurry up and go to work, well, maybe you should get up a little earlier, or maybe you should just call in and say, I'm going to be late, and just take your time and get there, because it's just not worth it. And I just wanted to share that with all of you. And this is by no means trying to scold the woman whom I don't even know, who was in this situation, who hit this child with her vehicle, because I don't know her, I wasn't there, and I don't know the situation. But I do know this, that it must be miserable to live with that for the rest of your life. And it's going to happen time and time again. She's not the first person that this has happened to. She's not the last. But one thing to keep in mind, the parents of this precious little boy, every holiday, every birthday, every milestone in his life is going to be gut-wrenching, it's going to be painful, and they're going to have to live with his death. And not just his death, but his horrific death. Being thrown 12 feet in the air, falling, hitting his head, and not even knowing what hit him. And I know, like again, people do come out of nowhere sometimes, but that little boy cannot come back, and his parents will never get over his death. Please take care, and I'd like to have your comments and questions. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.